Hello everyone. I'd like to apologize for the darkness in this video. Don't understand why my phone records at such a crappy quality. But this will probably be maybe my first, well it is my first, and probably only video that I'll post under this account on YouTube. I just felt the need to post a prediction, a theory, an idea, which is essentially, I was watching the news as I got home. As I got home today, and I saw the news about the massacre in Oregon, and instantly I stood up, ran over to the TV, and I had to watch it because I have a predisposition to question everything I see and hear in the media, and I want to know what is being presented and what is possibly happening in the world today. And I understand that you can't just look at news outlets. We're getting off topic. Fact of the matter is I heard about the Oregon shootings today. I heard about them no more than 3 hours ago. I've done maybe an hour looking into it, of different news reports, videos, interviews, the whole 9 yards. Like anything I could find within the past little bit I've been looking at. I don't know what happened. I'm not saying I know what happened. I don't know what happens half the fucking time ever, because there's no way of me knowing. All I'm here to do is to present a theory and maybe a prediction, and the only reason I'm really recording it is so that I can prove that I made this prediction prior to it happening. My theory is, since I found out of whose hometown Roseburg, Oregon belongs to a young man named Alex. Can't remember his last name, in all honesty, but he was one of the men on the bus, or on the train in France, who saved the day against the ISIS terrorist who was going to shoot up the train. Sorry for my terrible speaking. Anyway, my theory goes that he's going to come home, because I heard in the news reports that he's heading home. And, it's this homegrown hero, American soldier, who saved the day in France on a train to stop an ISIS terrorist. Now, they haven't released anything about the shooter, anything about his race. All we know is he's a 20-year-old male, apparently. My theory is that within the next 2 days, 3-4 days, however long it takes, when the evidence gets presented by mass media, we'll call it, I have a theory that this 20-year-old male is going to be a Islamic radicalist or ISIS insurgent. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying that is what it is at all. I just have this weird gut feeling that they're going to play it off as essentially there's an ISIS insurgent, radicalized, went to kill a bunch of people. Right, now it turns out though that he's an American citizen that's lived in America his entire life. Now we have this thing called homegrown terrorists. And you've also seen that there's been a lot of movements lately, especially since Sandy Hook in 2012, and because of the 137 shootings that have happened since then, a large ask for change in the gun control laws and all that sort of jazz. Essentially, with a homegrown terrorist, if you had a homegrown terrorist committing this act, and he's ISIS related, la-di-di-da-da, definitely this is going to play out in the sense that no citizen will be allowed to have a weapon. I feel like this is going to be used as a way to remove the rights to bear arms. And the only reason I'm saying this is because of the fact that it's the hometown of a hero that apparently stopped an attack on a train no more than 2 or 3 months ago. Honestly, can't remember the exact date. So my prediction is this shooter in Oregon is going to be labeled as a ISIS insurgent homegrown terrorist who has now committed the 137th or 8th mass shooting since Sandy Hook. I feel like this is going to be used as a way to possibly manipulate the citizens to willingly give up their rights to bear arms. Even if it did happen, the fact of the matter is that there should already be, now that these shootings have become so a norm, apparently there, where they happen all the time, why isn't there more, why isn't there just more armed security guards? Why isn't there more people just there with a gun? It will deter the perpetrator immediately. Half of these people that commit these crimes, they kill innocent, unarmed, helpless people. I'm not saying they're cowards, but to me that's a cowardly act. Someone who can't defend themselves, you're just massacring them with a firearm. To me, if there's someone there at all times armed to protect people, it's going to deter. It's just like if you had 2 cops standing at the front door. The dude's not going to want to walk into the school and start shooting. There's 2 cops right there with guns. Still off topic. I don't even know why I'm still going on. Basically, I'm only here to make a prediction. And essentially, if my prediction is right, I don't know what that means. But I think that this is going to be used as a way to remove the rights from people willingly, where the people will willingly give up their rights because they feel the need that every citizen shouldn't be able to have one because of all these rotten apples. But yet you never hear about the good people with legal firearms that they carry every day who stop crimes, who have stopped mass shootings. I'm only reiterating points made that I've learned through many different sources. None of this knowledge that I present is anything that I've found. It's research that I've done through other people doing their own research. Right now I don't have the time or the capacity to do it on my own. One day I hope I can. I'm only really seeking truth. But essentially it just goes, my prediction is that the shooter in Oregon is going to be labeled as a ISIS homegrown terrorist, which will lead to the stripping of the rights to bear arms because the people themselves will not feel safe that any citizen is allowed to carry a gun because of the fact that this person will be an American citizen who's lived there all their life. I also forgot to mention why I feel Alex is going to be important when he comes back home, is I feel like he is going to be the poster boy for this. The poster boy for this gun control movement and the stripping of the rights to bear arms. He's a homegrown boy. He's in the military. He's a hero. He's now apparently skyrocketed to fame and Dancing with the Stars and all this. So I'm just saying, if they were going to pick anybody to try and convince their own people that the citizens shouldn't have guns, it would be a lower-based military personnel who presents himself as a homegrown American boy believing in the red, white, and blue and the American dream and all that jazz that America likes to present themselves as. I'm just making a prediction. I don't even know why I felt the need that I had to post this, but I did. So, now that you know my prediction, if it turns out right, I just hope that the people don't willingly give up their rights to protect themselves from their own tyrannical government. One of the reasons the Second Amendment was ever created was to protect the people from the people who created that law, because they knew and understood from being in Europe and the past that they had endured that people with power will always abuse, almost always, if not checked, and always made sure that they are there to serve the people and not their own personal interests or personal gains. They work for the citizens. They don't control us.